DSG Law Enforcement brings you RVMS for Investigators. Documentation is now the #1 most time-consuming task, and law enforcement studies show that investigators are spending a whopping 40 to 50, even 70 or 80% of their day typing or making copies of disks and documents and then filing them into the appropriate repository. No one argues that this is the best use of their time. That's why RVMS was created, to save time and to make the workflow work for you. But in order for any tool to work, it has to be simple to use, and that's why we created RVMS as a browser. A browser means that it can be loaded on any PC or Mac, it can run on a tablet, even mobile devices like Droids or iPhones. Now as I log into the system, you'll see the 4 major functions across the top in these tabs. We're going to start with Upload. Now we've all put this type of information in before, the demographics, case information, and so forth. When you come down to Department, that refers to the people with whom you normally share information. Perhaps it's your unit, burglary, homicide. If you need to lock it down further, you can come to Access Rights. For example, if there's an officer-involved shooting, you might need to lock it down to IA and command staff only. You see a number of video and audio formats we support. There are many more, but these are the ones we see most often. The reason we can upload these files is it's not a closed system. We can take information from a variety of sources. It might be from an interview room. It could be from an in-car camera, 911 calls, even security footage from a retailer. One of the biggest time savers we see is using a handheld recorder, like the Olympus that many of you carry. Sure, those field interviews can be uploaded, but how about using it to narrate a crime scene report? Instead of pulling out a notebook and pen, making some notes, and then going back to type them, simply dictate them. Because you can speak 10 times faster than you can type, your reports will be richer in detail while saving you countless hours. Release to transcription is a function of your procedures. Maybe you know it'll need a transcript because it's a capital offense. Others you know it won't because they may be plat out or it's just not a good case yet. You can always change this later. Now with speech recognition, the crime scene report I described earlier can quickly generate a draft that you can edit and review instead of just typing it from scratch. And then you can copy it into your report management system if needed. Imagine the time savings. Everything we upload into the system shows up under the Search tab in one screen. I can search on a number of different criteria from case number, an officer, an interviewee, and so forth. One very valuable tool is the keyword search. And again, I'm searching across all cases that I have permission to see, not just a single case. I'm sure you can see how that might connect cases that you didn't even know were related. I put a word in that I know will be there and it pulls up the following videos. And from here, I can play a video, I can listen to the audio, I can check it against the demographics. I can even look at the transcript by hitting View Doc. Now when I hit View Doc, you'll see that it pulls up a Word file. It's a Word file because we know you might need to make some corrections. You'll also notice it's on a report template. This can be customized for your particular department so that it looks just like all the other reports that you have in your system. It can even be copied into your RMS. I can also generate a PDF so it can't be edited. Ever have the need to get a case to someone quickly? I can email the case to someone as well. And when I hit email, it will pull up a case that looks like this. And what this gives them is a copy of the demographics so they can make sure they're looking at the right file. And instead of sending some enormous video file across the network and making your IT guy crazy, it just gives them a link. Imagine being able to get this to your captain so you don't have to come in at 6 in the morning to give them a copy. Or this email can even be provided to the prosecutor to help them meet their discovery timelines without you having to be the one that makes copies and be a courier. I can also pull up relevant files. With relevant files, it gives me a quick depository where I can just put things that are related to the case. It might be a picture of a suspect or a document that you received from another agency as an example. That brings us to the final 2 tabs. The same functionality we've covered thus far for recordings also works for live video. You can set up streaming from interview rooms or surveillance. You can even set up live on-the-spot video from the field. Whether giving the command center visibility to a hostage situation or watching a narcotics sting, you can provide live eyes to an event instead of just radio. Imagine the live saved and an active shooter response. Now setting up the live stream is just like the Upload tab, and so when I go to the Live Streaming tab, the boxes across the top can represent different inputs, whether interview rooms or live video streams from another source, even in the field. And from here I can select the one that we're working with that we just set up. I can even zoom in, and not just zoom in, but by using the mouse I can zoom to a specific spot on the screen. maybe to see a suspect's face or the drawing that a child is making. Another thing we can do here is take a snapshot. When we take a snapshot, it'll pull up a screen, and from here I can make a comment. Maybe this is where the person confesses, and I can save it and leave that snapshot there for others who come along behind to see. Once the live stream is completed, it'll be accessible through the search tab just like the recordings were. So it can be shared with others, transcripts can be made, and it can be put into your report management system as needed. When we set out to build RVMS, we built it with you, the investigator, in mind. We wanted to make it easy to use and wanted to make it save you time every day, filing, making copies, and typing, and give you a tool that would allow you to spend more time doing what you do best, closing cases.